Hello, all. Today, it's the lesson that I wanted to do yesterday, but everything got all messed up from me helping out and people not showing up and blah, blah, blah. So, because of that, I decided to go old school and record yesterday's lesson. So, it's Tuesday's lesson done today. And the focus of the lesson was going to be on character traits. And specifically, we're going to be looking at how a character's traits can affect the outcome of the story, or how they act affects a story. So, you have a reading I assigned today, and it's from an excerpt called Out of My Mind, or it's an excerpt from a book called Out of My Mind, and it's realistic fiction. And we had talked about realistic fiction earlier in the year, and realistic fiction is a series of, or it's a book, or it's fiction that is set and grounded in the real world. There's not any fantastical beasts, there's no flying cars. It's something that could happen in real life. That's what makes it realistic fiction. So you could write a story about your day at school, but you could say I, ripped my pants and everybody laughed at me. The end, and that would be realistic fiction. That may not have ever happened to you, but it's something that could happen. But specifically, within the bounds or the confines of this realistic fiction, I want to look at character traits. And character traits are important because when you understand how a character acts, you can understand how a character's actions affect the plot. Okay? So if you can figure out, it's kind of like knowing how a person would act in a certain situation, like a real life person. How would they act in that situation? How would that affect the outcome? You're going to see how a character's traits and how a character acts can affect the plot of a story. But before we delve into that, I first want to stop and I want to look at this document. And it says, character feelings are fleeting. Character feelings are fleeting, and character traits are tried and true. There is a difference between feelings and there's a difference between traits. Now, a lot of times if I ask someone what some character traits are, someone go, oh, he's happy. Oh, that person's sad. Those are happy and sad. Those are feelings, okay? And it says character. The feelings are fleeting. Fleeting means going away. They come and they go. Feelings are fleeting. Because 1 second I can be happy, then maybe the next I can be sad. One minute I can be mad, then the next minute I can be happy. Think about, I drive my car to work, I'm happy, I'm in a good mood. I get in a car accident, I'm sad, or I'm mad. But then I get back to being my normal self. Traits, however, are tried and true. That means that they are an integral part of who you are. An integral part, and when I say integral, I mean an important part of who you are. So if I am, let me look at the list here. What's a good word? Loyal. If I am loyal, that's not something that's going away. I'm loyal to my classroom. I'm loyal to my family. I'm loyal to my friends. That's not something that goes away. It's a part of who I am, and it follows me in all parts of my life. Okay? So what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at the difference between, we're going to continue looking at the difference between feelings and traits. Now, if I look at these feelings over here, joyful, excited, amused, hopeful, satisfied, proud, and you see the face over here, kind of like, and this face is clearly joyful, and they're happy, like something good's happened, but then something bad happens. something comes along that makes them go, oh, now I'm sad, I feel guilty, I'm hurt, I'm ashamed, I'm depressed, I'm miserable, lonely, and bored. But then something happens that gets them angry, they're mad, they're jealous, they're stubborn, they're angry, frustrated. Think of any time you've been frustrated in your life. You're not frustrated all the time. Frustration happens, it goes away. Maybe you're solving a math problem, you get frustrated, you figure it out, you're happy. Like, oh, finally I figured it out, jeez. That's the difference between, being considerate. That's not something that'll just go away. If you're a considerate person, you're always considerate, you're always kind, you're always doing something for others, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's at home, whether it's at whatever. Okay? Now, there are some bad character traits. Look, lazy. If I'm lazy, I won't do work at home, school, anywhere. So traits are how you look, excuse me. Traits are how you're going to look at a character and you're going to see what traits they show that are consistent, that they always show throughout the story. And then we're going to look at putting that into perspective as to how it affects the outcome, how it affects the plot. Okay? So, character traits, tried and true, something, an important part of your being. Remember, feelings are fleeting. Feelings are fleeting. They come and go. But traits stay. That's who you are. If I was going to pick some traits to describe myself, I would say, well, from this list, oh boy, I'd say I'm hardworking, I'm loving, and I am hateful. Just kidding, not really. I'm not hateful at all. And maybe I am, I'm trying to find a good word from all these, independent. I always like being on my own, doing my own thing, and I'm loving. And these are things that carry over because I'm independent in that I moved out of my house when I was 18, just because I wanted to be on my own. I like being on my own. I enjoy being by myself, much like being the virtual teacher. A lot of people wouldn't like that because it's not a lot of face-to-face interaction. But I'm independent. I'm kind of over here doing my own thing as opposed to what my colleagues are doing. And I'm loving. I feel like I'm a loving teacher. I'm a loving husband. I'm a loving father. I have lots of love to give the world. And hardworking. I'll always work hard. I always have. Always will. Those are things that aren't going away. Okay? And one thing I want to look at then is this sheet here. Character trait vocabulary. And you can see here that I've got 3 columns: traits, synonyms, and examples. I'm not going to fill this whole thing out right here for this lesson. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to pick a word that I think we should know. And I think we should realize that maybe we don't know what this word truly means, but I can give you some synonyms that help you go, oh, that's what it means. We had a brief discussion while I was waiting for people to show up, and we talked about, for instance, the word conceited. Oops, if I could spell right. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if it's E-I or I-E. Let's see here. Conceited. Yeah, that is right. Sometimes that I before E rule gets me. So conceited is someone that is proud of yourself. Maybe you've heard of the word vain, or maybe you've heard of a narcissistic. Someone that just thinks they are the bee's knees. They are the best person. Oh, I misspelled it. Narcissistic. Someone that is in love with themselves. So think of a character that is in love with themselves. You guys ever seen the Harry Potter movies? Think of Gilderoy Lockhart. In the Harry Potter books, in the second Harry Potter movie, the guy that's like the dark arts professor, and he just loves himself. He just thinks he's the coolest dude ever, and he's the toughest wizard, and he just thinks that he is the greatest thing in the whole wide world. So, and I'll even put a phrase here: in love with self. So, in love with yourself, conceited. And there's a whole list of words that I'm thinking we're going to go through at some point. They're all words that I think are important character traits that you guys should know, especially in 4th grade. But I'm going to go ahead and put another word up here, and it's going to be our last one we're going to do in this document today. And we're going to look at the character trait of cunning. What does it mean to be cunning? What is a word that you guys would think of when you think of cunning? Well, you ever heard of the word sly or crafty? It's someone that's a little, they can achieve a goal by kind of lying their way there. They're cunning. If I'm a cunning villain, I can lie and cheat my way to the top. I'm trying to think of a good cunning villain. Let me see if I can Google one here. Good cunning villain. What about Thanos? Or the Joker from Batman. People that kind of lie and manipulate, and they're crafty about it. They're sly. They get it done in a deceitful way. Okay? So those are a couple of character traits that we're looking at. And I think this week we're going to add to this as we go forward for every mini lesson, just so you guys can get an idea and build up that character trait vocabulary. So then, for the last bit of this lesson, I want to look at describing a character and what that means for you guys. And the main things I want to look at are a character's words and a character's thought. So by words, I mean, what does a character say? What did they say that makes you pick out that trait for them? And then character's thought. What about a character's inner monologue makes you think they have that trait? And I've prepared a few, wrong one there. I've prepared a couple of readings, and the first one is from, both of these are from the reading I gave you guys today. Remember that text? It's called Out of My Mind. It's just a little excerpt. And I'm looking at it, and it starts off, it says, I learned big words like caterpillar and mosquito, and words that follow crazy rules like knock and gnome. I learned all the days of the week, months of the year, all the planets, oceans, and continents. Every single day I learned new words. I sucked them in and gobbled them up like they were Mrs. V's cherry cake. So one word I am seeing here that is used consistently by this character. Now remember, this is a character who is confined to a wheelchair. This is a character who cannot speak. The only thing she says that works for her are her thumbs. And so she points to the words to say what she has to say. But her mind works. She can still learn things. And if you look, the word learned is used several times. I learned big words. I learned the days of the week. I learned new words. So what's a character trait of when someone learns a lot? Well, let's look up here at our trait list. Now, we can look up over at the feeling side and say, oh, well, she's hopeful. Hopefulness gets dashed. We don't want to look over here. We want to look over here with the traits. What is a word for someone that likes to learn? Someone that likes to take that time to learn like that? Well, we could say there's a whole lot on here. What about intelligent? What about studious? They study a lot because she learned. She's intelligent because she's able to take and learn like that, but she's also studious because she takes the time to study like that. Also very, let's see. This kind of this white one, or this right side is all kind of mean ones. Demanding, no, none of those. No. What about ambitious? Somebody that takes it upon themselves to do a lot of, I'm gonna do that, and they follow through and do it. So she's ambitious, she's intelligent, she's studious. So I would say she likes to learn a lot. So she is intelligent, studious, and ambitious. Okay. Those are words that, those are characters' words. I learned. That tells me this person, it tells me this character is able to process information and is able to be taught. What about the thoughts on here? Are there thoughts? Let's look at this next one. And then she would stretch out the cards on the floor, position me on a big pillow so I could reach them, and I'd push the cards into sentences with my fists. It was like stringing the beads of a necklace together to make something really cool. I like to make her laugh, so I put the words into wacky order sometimes. The blue fish will run away. He does not want to be dinner. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of repeated words there, but I am seeing something that's kind of like a thought. I like to make her laugh, so I'd put the words in a wacky order sometimes. The blue fish will run away. He doesn't want to be dinner. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think that's that funny, but, kind of. But what's a word on here that means somebody that likes to make laugh, or have some laughs? There's funny, playful, creative. Those are thoughts in this person's head. They're thinking, I like to be funny. I want to make her laugh. So in her head, she's like, I want to make her laugh. So I'm going to put these words together. Because she can't say it out loud, but she's thinking the thoughts. And then she is putting it together in a sentence. So stringing together funny sentence. Funny sentence. So she is, what do we say? Playful and funny. Do this. Playful, funny. Learn, learn, learn. We can say she is studious and intelligent. And that's how we can describe this character, guys. And we'll look at more excerpts from this, but I can describe this character as studious and intelligent, and she's playful and funny. She likes to play around with her words. She likes to have fun. And, she likes to study and learn her words and learn so she can communicate. All right, so make sure you are checking what you need to do to respond to this activity, guys.